What's going on, guys? It's your motivation guy, Keith Allen. I'm so pumped up. Today, I'm here to tell you everything that you need to know about the newest addition to the Apex Legends roster, and that is Valkyrie. We are here to help you get your road to mastering the winged adventure off to a rocket fuel start. You guys ready for this? I know I am. Let's get this going. Okay, so first, let's do a brief overview of Valkyrie's kit and why she stands out from all the other legends in the game. Okay, so she's a recon character, allowing her to use survey beacons and the ability to spot enemies from afar while dropping. She will ping these enemies if they are within her line of sight and within a couple of hundred meters. Her primary passive ability, VTOL Jets, is the core of Valkyrie's gameplay. Double jumping will activate her jets, using fuel and allowing her to take to the skies. This movement ability is unlike anything Apex Legends has ever seen before, making her gameplay completely unique. We'll get into the specifics of that playstyle later in the video, but we'll start with an overview of her abilities. Her tactical ability, Missile Swarm, launches a volley of mini arc stars at a target area, dealing damage, stunning, and just slowing her opponents. This AoE ability gives Valkyrie some much needed disruption and damage, as she lacks this in other areas of her kit. Her ultimate, her Skyward Dive, allows Valkyrie to link up with her teammates and become a human jump tower, allowing her team to reposition on the fly. And so while relocating, she gains the ability to spot enemies for her and her team. Okay guys, so with the basics out of the way, let's take a deep dive into each of these abilities and just really hone in on her strengths and weaknesses. Alright, so we're going to break down her kit, going over specific ability uses, tips and tricks, and all the advanced methods that you should know as you begin the road to mastering Valkyrie. Alright, so the most important aspect of her kit is her jets. The ability to soar through the sky is at the core of her playstyle and should be used often. This being said, the fuel system that powers her jets requires you to be intelligent about when you use them. Okay, so if you run out of fuel, you're going to be unable to activate your thrusters. You should always try to keep a bit of fuel in the tanks to ensure that you have the resources to react in a pinch. Your initial flight uses up a bit more fuel, and it takes about 8 seconds to begin recharging, and then an additional 10 seconds to fully recharge from empty. Okay, so if you use all of your fuel, you're going to be running on the ground like all those other legends, unable to lift off again for almost 20 full seconds. So definitely be mindful of that, guys. All right, so now for some flight control tips. Change your jetpack control over to the hold option. This will make your movement much more responsive and allow you to deactivate your jets more quickly on the fly, as all you have to do is release the jump button. So you can't shoot, heal, or throw nades while using your jets, so you have no reason to have it on hold. This will save you a bit on fuel as well, allowing you to take advantage of advanced movement skills like bee-hopping and wall bouncing. And so when using this ability, it will allow you to toggle your flight path between direct and level. Direct will propel you in whatever direction you're facing, and level will keep you perfectly level to the ground. Direct should be your default option, as it will allow you to be more evasive and will also, allow you to reach heights faster. If you find yourself wanting to gain height quickly, you should use flight strafing. This is when you fly in direct lines while looking up, back and forth rapidly, and will allow you to gain height very quickly. This may sound confusing, but once you take the time to master it, it becomes a game changer. The only time you really want to fly straight up and hover is when scouting out an area. While doing this is slower and you won't get as high, you can easily see the area around you and relay information to your team. This is an incredible use for her jets, but just make sure, guys, there aren't enemies close enough to really shoot you out of the sky, as you're going to be very vulnerable flying this way, especially with the addition of the Bochek, which we discussed in our last video. You don't have to be soaring high above the map to make good use of Valkyrie's jets. Actually, they may be strongest when not doing this. Where they really shine is in small micro movements and short bursts for repositioning in fights. While other legends can just run around a building or climb a wall, Valkyrie can just fly around and over it all. So by combining a slide into a jump with her initial jets, she can move around very quickly. This speed, combined with her ability to take high ground, makes her incredibly difficult to fight. Be sure to utilize this the best you can, constantly looking to find new angles or pull off unique flanks to catch enemy squads by surprise. It's important to note that some advanced movement skills like bee-hopping and wall bouncing are incredibly difficult to pull off with Valkyrie due to her jets being activated by double jumping. And so while it's harder to pull off the traditional advanced movement, she has new advanced movement techniques that we have discussed here that separate her from all the other legends. Not to mention, she can fly. I mean, that's just way cooler than just hopping around, right? Okay, guys, so moving further into Valkyrie's kit, we have her tactical ability, Missile Swarm. Okay, so as we said earlier, this is Valkyrie's only form of damage or disruption, but man, whew, it's a good one. A well-placed missile swarm can devastate an enemy squad, hurling 12 mini arc stars at the area around them. And so while the damage is good, the best part is the disruption. You stun and slow anyone hit by the volley, allowing you and your team to potentially get a free knot. The best use of this ability is from high ground, where you have a clear vantage point to properly see your opponents. Okay, so with that being said, it can be used from low ground as well. Just make sure you distance yourself from it, as you can hit yourself if used incorrectly. Also, make sure you have enough space to use the ability. If you try to launch the missiles in a confined space, it can hit walls and cause more harm than good. Okay, so outside of combat usefulness, Missile Swarm has a neat trick for scouting using your jets. If you're looking to hover in one place for longer, activate the targeting of Missile Swarm, but don't launch the attack. So this will hold Valkyrie in place, but it will use much less fuel than just using her jets. This can be a nice trick when you're trying to scout new POIs or you just need to buy some time in the air before launching the ability. Okay, so rounding out Valkyrie's kit, we have her ultimate, Skyward Dive. Okay, so while her jets are awesome, this ability is the star of the show. Skyward Dive allows Valkyrie to link up with her teammates and take flight from anywhere on the map with a clear view of the sky. An important note is the distance you launch from the ground is always the same. So the higher elevation you are at when you take off, the further you're going to be able to travel. Additionally, her squad is able to see any enemies in line of sight while in the air, allowing her to make an educated decision on where to land. This ability alone will make her insanely strong at the top level of play, as a well-coordinated team can link up and just be in the air within a few seconds. A squad with a Valkyrie can move around the map in record time. If you try to force this ability when in a fight, it could be canceled if you get hit before taking off. It's entirely possible you or one of your squad mates die if this ability is forced in a dangerous situation, so be smart about its use. Okay, so speaking of dangerous situations, all right, pairing a character like Gibraltar with Valkyrie can make for some interesting plays with this ultimate. Okay, so Gibby's bubble has amazing synergy with Valk's ult. You can use his bubble to ensure a safe takeoff or use it when you land. This allows her ultimate to be used aggressively because you can land near enemy squads and then use Gibby's bubble to secure a good position. This takes some practice though, so grab a friend and get into it. Okay guys, so with everything we went over in mind, Valkyrie is a very diverse recon character that is very proficient in fights. Like, her movement makes her viable on every map and in almost every situation. Let me ask you this, you want to climb the heights of World's Edge or cross its many difficult landscapes? Alright, well, her jets can handle that. Want to relocate swiftly to POIs and navigate through the open areas of Olympus? Okay, well, her ultimate has you covered. Want to zone off teams in the choke points of King's Canyon? A missile swarm is on its way. Valkyrie players should look to spot out their opponents, holding high ground as they take them down. You have tons of mobility and utility, so you gotta use it. Kitting is one of her greatest strengths. Stay on top of buildings and other positions that, most legends can't get into in a timely manner. I'm not saying it can't. Actually, far from that. Aggressively scout out enemy teams and pick fights from a safe distance. If things get close range, use your jet boost often, finding quick flanks, new angles, and dismantling the enemy team. If you find yourself in a bad fight, Valk can find some interesting retreat angles to reassess a situation and turn the fight in her favor, so be creative. There are more options on how to take a fight or where to rotate when playing her. Valkyrie has come into Season 9 as a powerhouse. She is a recon character with the most robust movement in the game and has an offensive Q to top it off. Not to mention, one of the most impactful ultimates in the game. Regardless of the map or situation, Valk brings insane utility and flexibility to any situation. And if you guys need more help figuring out how to play Valkyrie, check out our coaches over at ProGuides.com. They can teach you all the advanced tricks and help you rank up in no time. Link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. So if you haven't tried her out yet, guys, give it a go. If you can master her entire kit and take all the tips that we just discussed, man, you're gonna be a terror from the skies and the ground. If you guys liked the video, subscribe to the channel. If you wanna connect with me on my Instagram, I'm right here at Your Motivation Guy. I'm so proud of you guys. Keep grinding. I'll see you soon. Peace.